The most exciting, the most compelling, the sport with the most energized fans. By far. Football. Some call it soccer, and this show lives and breathes it. Welcome to the Saucy Football Breakdown. We'll dive deep into the world of soccer, bring you bite-sized stories that bring you closer to the strategy, the tactics, and behind-the-scenes narratives that shape the game. Discussions, debates, opinions, scouting, analytics, and a perspective beyond common sense and what meets the eye. Let's do it. Welcome in to the Saucy Football Breakdown. And now your host, Michael Nance.
Hey, Saucy football fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Saucy Football Breakdown podcast, where we dive deep into the world of soccer with passion and insight. I'm your host, Michael, and today I've got an important story to break down for you. 3 women have come forward with allegations against Antony, the 23-year-old Manchester United winger. Antony has been dropped by the Brazil national team amidst an ongoing investigation by authorities in both his home country and the greater Manchester police. But who is Antony exactly, and how did he become a 100 million euro player for Manchester United? Well, that's what your boy is here for. I'm going to take you on a journey through his remarkable career to this point, from the favelas of Sao Paulo to the Premier League. So Antony's story begins in Osasco, one of the less prosperous areas of Sao Paulo, Brazil. He grew up in a favela known as Inferninho, or Little Hell, where the streets were often dominated by drug dealers. It was a challenging environment, to say the least. In an article that he wrote for the Players Tribune, Antony shared a harrowing memory of encountering a dead body on his way to school. He described how in the favela, one becomes numb to such insights, and that is a stark reminder of the difficult circumstances that he faced growing up. But football became Antony's escape and a way out of the favela. He honed his skills on the streets, playing with his older brother, and was eventually spotted by the director of a local team. At the age of 14, he joined the academy at Sao Paulo FC, the club that he had always supported ever since he was a young child. The Sao Paulo Academy is renowned in Brazil for producing stars like Cafu, Kaká, Casemiro, and Eder Militao. Antony faced initial doubts about his physical strength, but he gradually proved himself over time. And by 2018, he made his first team debut, following in the footsteps of other Brazilian wingers like Lucas Moura and David Neres, who had made successful moves to Europe as well. So his strengths included technique, finishing ability, I know it sounds crazy, and a deep understanding of the game, according to Junior Chavar, who was the former head coach of the Sao Paulo Academy. Now, Antony's personality and responsibility on the field stood out. In 2019, Antony's star continued to rise. He was named the best player at the prestigious Copinha, drawing the attention of scouts from around the world. Clubs were eager to sign him, but valuations often posed challenges. And I think that's because they valued him at one number, and the club that was selling him valued him obviously a little bit higher. So I think that's what that means. But even in the dressing room, there was a consensus that Antony was a real talent. His coach, Fernando Diniz, believed he had what it took to become one of the greatest attackers in world football. Antony's journey continued in 2020 when he signed for Ajax, initially for about 16 million euros. He made a fast start in the Eredivisie, crediting his improvement to coach Erik ten Hag's tactics and the physical transformation that he underwent during the COVID-19 lockdown. Antony adapted well to life in Europe, demonstrating resilience and a determination to succeed. Pressure for him meant something entirely different compared to his early life in the favela. He made his history by starting every game at the Tokyo Olympics with Brazil's under-23s and setting up the winning goal in the final against Spain. A few months later, he scored in his debut for the Brazil senior side. Antony's performances in the 2021-2022 Champions League further solidified his reputation. Ajax won all 6 of their group games, with Antony contributing with goals and assists. However, not everyone in the Netherlands was convinced of his abilities. Critics raised against questions about his decision-making, his consistency, and his maturity. But Ajax's new coach, Ten Hag, believed in Antony's potential and made him a priority target when he took over at Manchester United in 2022. The transfer fee, initially 95 million euros, rising to 100 million euros, made Antony one of the most expensive players at all time. Antony's journey at Manchester United began with a bang as he scored in his first 3 Premier League games. But he also faced criticism for being a little bit too reliant on his left foot. His performances divided opinions, with some seeing him as a decorative player rather than a defining force on the field. Despite criticism, Antony continued to feature prominently in Manchester United's lineup, with his manager expressing trust in his abilities. However, off-field issues have recently surfaced, resulting in Antony's absence from the team. The allegations against him have cast a shadow over his career, and the situation remains complex and ongoing. So, all right, now I got to do this part justice. So, this is a hard transition, and I'm going to begin from the top. So, one of 3 women who have accused Antony of assault has made some serious claims. She alleged that she was attacked during a business trip to see Antony and was told by a member of his entourage to keep quiet about it to protect his reputation ahead of the 2022 World Cup. This is a heavyweight accusation, so let's break it down. So what exactly are the allegations? Antony's ex-girlfriend, Gabriella Cavallin, has accused him of assaulting her on multiple occasions between June 2022 and May 2023. 2 other women, Raisa de Freitas and Ingrid Lana, have also made allegations against him. Now, it's crucial to note that Antony vehemently denies all of these allegations. But let's focus on Ingrid Lana's claims for just a second. Lana alleges that she had known Antony for several years and was invited to England in 2022 of September for what she thought was a simple business trip. She claims that in the early hours of the morning, before a United fixture, mind you, Antony knocked on her door, grabbed her, and tried to kiss her. Antony, however, says the encounter was consensual. So here's where it gets even more complicated. Lana claims that after the incident, a member of Antony's entourage, Reginaldo Teixeira, advised her to keep it quiet to avoid harming Antony's career. She says Teixeira even asked her to block journalists who reach out to her on social media. Now, Lana's side of the story is emotional and intense. She says, "I didn't come for that." She felt tricked and used, and this changed her perception of the entire situation. Antony's response to these allegations is equally strong. He claims that Lana traveled to meet him with the clear intention of having an intimate encounter, and he even went as far as to book her flight and reserving a hotel for her. According to Antony, their encounter was consensual. Reginaldo Teixeira, a member of Antony's entourage, also weighed in on this story, stating that Lana clearly knew the nature of her visit and that she was lying about intending to do business with Antony. Now, Manchester United initially acknowledged these allegations and confirmed that Antony would not be returning to England until, quote, further notice, unquote, to address the accusations. It's a move that shows how seriously the club is taking this situation. Gabriella Cavallin, Antony's ex-partner, had previously alleged that Antony threatened to throw her from a moving car during an incident in Brazil while she was pregnant. She further claimed that Antony had headbutted and punched her in a Manchester hotel room in January 2023. And there's more. Another woman, Raisa de Freitas, filed a police complaint against Antony in May 2022, alleging that she needed hospital treatment after being in Antony's car following a nightclub visit in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Now, Antony has adamantly denied all of these allegations and has expressed his commitment to cooperating with the police to find the truth. So I'm gonna be honest, this is a very complex and evolving story with serious implication for Antony's career and the broader football world. So here at Saucy Football Breakdown, I will be keeping an eye very close on the developments of this story as they unfold. So that is it for this episode of Saucy Football Breakdown. I know it started from a very serious tone to, it was more of an inspirational tone that then transitioned to a very serious tone. But I wanted to give a little bit of background on Antony, where he came from and what he's been through. And then hopefully that would shed some light on some of these allegations. Hopefully I was able to also cover the allegations and the stories and complaints that came out against him in a way that was not choosing sides at all, but was just merely stating the facts as they exist. So again, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for more in-depth discussions and updates on this and other important football topics. Now remember, we are here to dive deep into the beautiful game, no matter how saucy it gets. Look for me on Twitter at Saucy Breakdown, on YouTube at Saucy Breakdown, on Threads at Saucy Breakdown. Thank you for listening, and man, I appreciate y'all so much. You have a good one, and keep your passion for football burning bright. I'm out.
You've been listening to the Saucy Football Breakdown. Let's face it, soccer is the biggest sport on the planet right now, and it's our passion to bring you closer to the game. Soccer stories, tactics, behind the scenes, analytics, team building, scouting. We've got it all. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Saucy Breakdown.